If you guys caught my show last year, you may remember a slight unwitting theme that I had in the show. With all the palings and rippings and cuttings and such. And I tried to change up the show this year, and it's the exact same kind of show. And so I keep trying to find an ending for the show. And the same words keep running through my head. La corriente de tiempo se remansa y ordena en las formas numéricas de un siglo y el otro siglo. Y la muerte vencida se refugia en el círculo estrecho del minuto presente. The current of time pools and gathers into the number forms of one century and the next century, and vanquished death takes refuge in the tightest circle of the present instant. Federico García Lorca. He was a poet, a playwright, and a socialist in Spain in the early half of the last century. He was one of the first public figures assassinated by the fascist dictator Franco. He was used as an example as to what happens to socialists. And when Lorca's blood was spilt, a revolution flowed out into the streets. And this is the time that my grandmother came up in. Now, being the single mom of two / socialist sympathizer, a little difficult to make some cash. So, she read fortunes. She read tarot cards. I like to think I am the descendant of the Spanish gypsy. And whatever your opinion is about fortune telling and tarot cards, she sort of felt that was kind of her job. To give some people some guidance, some solace, at a time where death was always right there in the present instant. Death was always one of the relatives sitting at the dinner table. And she had her stories, boy. I mean, we're talking depression and rights removed, running out into the forest in the middle of the night to feed her brother who was avoiding capture, friends who were just blown up to pieces right in front of her, other friends who never quite made it back home, before it got to the point that her own children might not make it back home. She decided to get the hell out of there. So she packs up everything she has and her 2 kids and gets on the next ship out to here. She had never even left her little corner of Spain, you understand? She had to be willing to take everything that she knew and loved and just do away with it in order to start anew. When she got here, she became a seamstress. Cable car clothiers, Sutter Street. SF history buffs might know exactly what I'm talking about. And good old American dream, she saved her money and bought a house, and her 2 kids lived happily ever after. But she never touched another deck of tarot cards ever again. When you're living in a quaint suburb like Daly City, the last thing you want to be known for is that immigrant woman around the corner who reads fortunes, you know. But growing up, I'd occasionally catch her in her room, on her bed, little tray in her lap, dealing out rows of playing cards. And I'd say, "Grandma, ¿qué haces?" And she'd say, "Playing solitaire, mijo." Playing solitaire. And that's how she spent her last years. And being that she was an old Spaniard, the woman would never die. She hung on. And we just kind of saw her go to pieces. Until finally, on October 31st, 2001, she finally let go. Just like her, too, to wait till Halloween, a dramatic exit. And my dad later on told me about the whole fortune-telling thing, and I began to piece it all together. And yes, you can read fortunes with a regular deck of playing cards. You just got to reassign them. 2 of hearts, the lovers. The Joker, the Fool, Ace of Spades, Death. Death. So you can go back. Funny thing about death, there's a few versions, different kinds of death. The first is where the body remains, but the soul is gone. The next form of death is where the body and spirit do remain, but both go through a cleansing. And the last form of death is where you and the fiber of everything you know is completely destroyed, ripped to pieces. And you want to be able to put these pieces back together again, but you can't, because you see, what you had before doesn't exist anymore. Because you see, after destruction is not restoration, it's transformation. And that's what the death card means. It means life. It means rebirth. It means change. But the only way you're going to change is if you let a certain part of you die first. So, I offer this meager handful of pieces to all of you, in hopes that you will take them and make something more beautiful than what you had before.
Yeah.
Woo!